Well, the 20th over here, and pretty nice day. It's overcast, but yeah, not too bad. And I've started standing some walls up here. Had some help to hold things while I got things started, and anyway, I'm running them in with those 3.5-inch screws. There's half a dozen anyway down this edge and the other edge as well. I'm going to kind of square it up a little bit, and then we'll stand the other wall, the front wall, up here, and then I'll have to figure out the roof. The patio here is slightly sloped, so it's not level, but I'm not going to worry about level. My ends are square, and if everything's leaning, I figure everything's leaning. And the building itself will still be square. It'll just be tipped down on one end because the patio's not level. But it's only down, looking at it, maybe 3/4 of an inch. Oh no, maybe more than that. But anyway, I'm not going to worry about it because it's just sitting on the patio, and I wasn't going to fasten it down anyway. So I think when it's all said and done, everything will be, the building itself will still be fairly square. It'll just be, you know, sitting this way. But that's kind of the plan. And I'm going to go ahead and pre-drill some holes, and we'll move the last wall over. Well, here it is, 4 walls. This front wall I got to finish screwing on. It's got a couple in place. And then, yeah, we can go in and out through the end here. And I've checked the base with the square. It's square on the ground. The top angles, however, is a little bit off. And so I'll have to straighten that up when I put the roof on. But, yeah, not bad. It weighs a whole bunch, so I'm not even going to anchor it to the concrete. You know, we get a tornado or something, we got bigger problems than worrying about this greenhouse. So, well, I'm fixing to make the end angle there, and I think this is a reasonable angle for the roof. And I got to measure it. I'll make a couple of these, and then this, since I'm using that waving roofing, will be purlins that run this way. But I need something to support my purlins on, so that'll be the structure. And I need to cut it down a little bit, but I'll show you how I plan on measuring that out. This front edge, I want to bring it down so it's pretty close to this edge. So I want to bring this down. It's not a full 2x4 width. If I use a 2x4 as a spacer, it's going to go ahead and be too low. So what I've come up with is an old piece of kitchen floor tile and a 1x2 on top, and that comes down. That'll leave me, give or take, 1/4 inch of extra sticking up there, which will work out pretty good, I think, for what I'm doing here. Alright, I guess we can see what I've done here. Just set that on top of this side wall where I want it to sit down. And yeah, I'll just draw a line straight across here and straight down here, cut that notch out, and this will sit down right there. Then I'll take these same spacers over here to the end and draw my notch there as well, and I should be alright. I don't want to come any lower out here because then my slope will be too flat. So anyway, I'll cut my notch over here. Actually, I may not notch it here. What I may do, it's sitting up on this siding that sticks out. I may just notch that siding down the appropriate distance, let it sit down on top of that, and then hook it to the side. Anyway, so that's where I'm at right now. I'll go ahead and draw these out and cut the notches, and I have to cut the length on this rafter where it sticks out as well. Alright, well here it is in place, and I think it'll work out alright. I got just a little bit here above, which is what I wanted on this edge, and I think it'll work out fine. I'm going to set it over on the other end and just see how it fits, then I can just make another one just like it. It'll be easier than trying to hold the board up and marking it. Well, I got these things put up there, both ends, and had to make a little run to Home Depot. I needed some corner molding and another piece of roof. I didn't have enough roof on hand, and I guess it's time for yeah, some dinner. So I'm gonna eat some dinner and then go back at this project. Well, go figure. It's starting to rain here, and I guess it's gonna rain for, I don't know, 3 or 4 days. So I had to call it quits for right now. The 21st out here, and I'm cutting these purlins here. I had to go over to one of my wood hoards and grab some longer boards. I'd forgotten the width of this inside to inside there is 97, longer than 8 foot, which is all I had over here. So went and grabbed some of this. This is the tailings. This is cedar. It was an old railing off of a porch that got torn out once upon a time, and I grabbed a bunch of the wood. This is clear, straight grain, end to end. These were, look to be probably 12 footers. Straight grain cedar, very nice stuff, but I'm going to use that for the purlins here. And I've cut my 3 purlins here. I got to figure out how I'm going to do the taper at each end to support my roofing. And I think I'll just cut a couple shorter ones and lay up on top of that back wall. But yeah, sunny in between rainstorms here today, so I'm back out here. I'm hoping to get this roof on here today. Okay, I got purlins in place, and then this front one right here, piece of pressure treated that I cut with the correct angle so it's flat on the face here, to support the front edge. And then similar on the rear, except I had to put a notch in it to fit over the deal there. But anyway, it's all in place now, and I've gone ahead and cut my roof pieces at the appropriate length. I've had these laying around since I built the shed. Originally I was going to go with clear on the shed, but I went with a tinted variety instead. I did have to buy one additional sheet here. I bought an 8-footer, a short one, for this greenhouse project because I didn't have enough. And then the short ends over here, I'll have to lap one, maybe a 3-section piece in the center of this greenhouse roof, because it's more than 8 feet, which is dimensionally what this stuff will fit with 4 sheets. So I got to put a piece in the middle somewhere, but I'll figure that as I go. So I'm going to go ahead and start laying this stuff out, just see what it looks like. Well, I'm calling it basically a greenhouse here. Got the roof on, and pretty happy with it. Came out pretty square actually. And then on these little end gaps underneath, I think I'm going to go for the Tommy Shoe method of plugging gaps and get some of those little kitty swimming noodles and chop it up and shove in the gaps there to seal it up. Same on the other end. I may actually have a chunk of pipe insulation that will work as well, but I have to figure that out. And then on the ends underneath this little area that overlaps, I will cut a board that goes up and will support it, and I can throw a couple tacks on it to hold it down. Well, I'm fixing to do some siding on this thing, and had to fix these corners. So what I've done is I put in a chunk of old ratty 2x3 with it's a 1/2 inch exterior plywood that's been laying outside, not come apart, so I think that'll work good for my spacer, which brings me up to the correct dimensions for this business on the other side. So anyway, I think that'll work, and I'll side the front first, or whatever I'm going to do with it, and then have it meet the sides. What I'd used for the back of this thing for siding was this tongue and groove stuff I've got here that's been laying outside for years. It's got some kind of a beading in it, and that's what I used on the back side. I think I'm going to use this stuff down below the windows. On the front side, I'll have to cut this off and then figure out how I'm going to meet it going upward, but that's what I think I'll do. Well, it's fixing to get dark out here, but I've started on my little bit of trim slash siding. Got those two on the bottom there, and then where I trimmed it to fit the window, I have it leaning down towards the outside, so rain and stuff will drip kind of towards the outside, and that'll all get painted later. Probably gray, same as everything else around here, but you can see I've got a bit sticking out here, which will meet my siding coming this way when I'm done. But it's getting dark, so I gotta call it quits for today. I put a little support up under this edge, piece of pressure treated that I cut kind of at a funny shape to fit up in there, and then anything I'm nailing here, siding, etc. I'm using these type here. Maybe it'll focus here if I do that. It's got kind of a screw shank on it, old school galvanized. I've got a whole mess of them, and so that's what I'm putting in the siding. Shouldn't come apart. Anyway, so calling it for today. Handle. It's a red handle. Handle. Bucket. Bucket. Well, in between rain squalls and during nap time, I managed to pretty well get this thing all trimmed out and finished up. I think we're going to paint it gray this summer. What I did where the seams were here is I cut a little kind of a wedgie block and then ran some longer screws all the way down through into the frame below. So at each of my joints I have that. This is that little narrow patch piece I had to put in the middle between my panels to make everything fit. But I got that all together. And then on the upper end I used a piece of this stuff, this metal. I think they call it Z-rail or something. It's for siding, but it overhangs down below my thing here, keep the rain from running down underneath. And I've got the same kind of little blocks underneath to support where I screwed. So anyway, I think it'll work out fine. It's all pretty well trimmed out. Better to keep the wind out of there. So yeah, worked out pretty good. Came out okay. So that's the exterior. Next I gotta put a shelf across here right below the window level, and I'll probably put a low shelf across the front edge, the same deal, and whatever other shelving we need in here to put the little plants on that we're going to grow. But you can see we're already moving in here, so that'll be the greenhouse. And yeah, it came out alright. Got actually out of pocket, including the roofing that I had on hand and purchased, you know, all the materials that I'd purchased in the past and that I needed to purchase for the project. There's a little less than 200 bucks here, so that's a pretty good greenhouse for under $200. So thanks for watching.